saucy, spicy, smoky pulled jackfruit and a creamy coleslaw make for an explosion of flavor and some messy sandwich fun. Ready in 40 minutes, no slow cooking required, and it's pretty thrifty to boot. All right, if you've watched our video on how we stock our pantry, you'll know that we always have canned jackfruit, but we haven't made a recipe video with it yet, so today we're changing that. I'm Catherine, this is young green jackfruit, and together we're going to make an awesome, saucy, barbecue pulled sandwich for less than $3. I'm going to start by continuing your introduction to jackfruit, and if it wasn't amazing enough that this pulled sandwich is made from a fruit, said fruit is often larger than a watermelon and grows on a tree. Here's Brian's dad holding one. And the most important thing to know about jackfruit when you're looking for it at the store is that it comes in two varieties: ripe jackfruit in syrup and young green jackfruit in brine. Inside the can of ripe jackfruit are beautiful pieces of sweet, juicy fruit that are perfect for making smoothies, not so perfect for a pulled pork-like sandwich. And I learned that the hard way the first time I tried to make this. We had some sweet barbecue mush. So when you're making this recipe, you're looking for the fruit preserved before it ripens. It's still sweet, but much less so, and its texture is completely different. To make 6 sandwiches, we're using 2 of these cans, and we usually find these at our local large grocery store in an international aisle. And this is what you find inside. You can pour out that brine, and these pieces just pull apart with your fingers. There's a harder bit at the base here that some people suggest throwing away, but I find that as long as you can tear them a bit with your fingers, they soften enough in the cooking process that I don't mind the thicker pieces in the pulled sandwich. We're going to cook these up with some onion and garlic, some smoky seasonings, and some barbecue sauce. But first, we're going to make a spicy Chipotle barbecue sauce. Combine 2 cups crushed or stewed tomatoes, a 1/4 cup tomato paste, 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons vegan Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of our favorite flavor boosters, liquid smoke and smoked paprika, 1/2 teaspoon cumin, 2 tablespoons molasses, and drive home the flavor with 2 Chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, chopped into smaller pieces, and a teaspoon of salt. I've been reading recipes that called for Chipotle peppers and adobo sauce for a while and always just omitting it because I figured I would buy them, use them for that recipe, not know what to use them for again, and they would go bad in my fridge. But I finally bought them and they're a fantastic flavor booster, and I found if I scoop the leftovers into a jar, put this in my fridge, it lasts for months, and now I've just gotten the habit of adding them to my sauces whenever I want some smoky, spicy flavor. And same goes for tomato paste. Anytime you have leftovers, scoop them into a jar, put this in your freezer, and then when you need that 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, you can just scrape it out, pop this back in your freezer. Bring this barbecue sauce to a light bubble, then reduce the heat, simmer with the lid on for just 10 minutes, and then blend it smooth. We never have barbecue sauce in our fridge, but we do always have the ingredients that we made this with. So if you're interested, check out our pantry video or our blog for tips on how we stock our pantry and freezer with easy essentials that make making barbecue sauce from scratch a breeze. Now let's cook up some jackfruit. In a pan over medium heat, saute 1/2 medium onion and 2 cloves of garlic for about 5 minutes until the onion slightly caramelized. Add your 2 cans of shredded jackfruit, season with 2 teaspoons smoked paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon liquid smoke. Stir that in for just a minute, then add a cup of water or vegetable broth. We always have our homemade broth made from our vegetable scraps, which adds a bit more flavor, and 1/2 cup of your barbecue sauce. Cover and simmer on low for 25 to 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. And the reason we use a spicy barbecue sauce for this recipe is that jackfruit is a fruit and not pork, so it does have a sweeter taste, and by using a barbecue sauce that's spicier than we might normally use, we find it cuts down the sweetness from the jackfruit, and that balance is closer to the flavor of a traditional pulled pork sandwich. Now our pulled jackfruit is almost done, so we're going to get our Summery coleslaw out of the fridge and slice up our buns. We made this easy coleslaw dressing using our homemade oil-free mayo, a bit of apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, celery salt, and a bit of black pepper. Then stirred in about 7 cups of shredded green and purple cabbage and sliced carrots. Can you hear that? That's the good stuff. Toss your remaining 1/2 cup of barbecue sauce on your finished pulled jackfruit just before serving, and for an even saucier, messier sandwich, prep your buns with some extra mayo or extra barbecue sauce. This looks so good. Isn't this amazing? You need to try this. I wish I could, but I'm allergic to cabbage. So while Brian gets ready to come from around the camera and eat this, oh, here he comes. We're also both very sweaty because we don't have air conditioning and it's really hot in here. If you want, I'll tell, oh, this sandwich makes, or this recipe makes 6 sandwiches, and each sandwich works out to be less than $3. Is it good?
It's so good.
Oh God, you're so sweaty. If we were to make this more traditionally with pork, it would add anywhere from $5 to $20 to our final recipe cost, depending on whether we buy our pork from our wholesale store or a local grocery store. And if we were to buy a sandwich like this from a restaurant, it would cost us about $13. So, what do you think?
I think they should click the links below.
For this ultimate barbecue pulled jackfruit recipe, the spicy Chipotle barbecue sauce, the Summery coleslaw, and
Subscribe
for a new video every Sunday at 5. And don't worry, I made myself a version with an apple and carrot slaw. Let's eat. Camera's still rolling.
Yeah. Funny.
I'm just here eating.
Hey.
It's probably all on my face. He still doesn't know that I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
Hi, darling.